So we're going to be covering now episode 2 of the export sales strategy. And one of the key things we're going to talk about today is your market research before you travel. That sounds a bit of a weird kind of textbook, saying, well, what does that actually physically mean to me? What I'm saying is a lot of people travel or should travel a lot smarter because obviously we're trying to maximize our return of investment. But the challenges we have there is that we go to trade shows, we go to events, we spend money, we travel a lot of travel. And what's the maximum return of investment for that? Should we be doing things beforehand as an export sales? Because obviously we're all chasing buyers, and I've got good experience in this. Obviously, when I had the logistics company, I had 46 agents, distributors around the world. So I know full hand how hard it is to find not just customers, but also find distributors and everything else. But it's all about research. If I've learned anything in the last few years, I'm working very much in data. As people know, I'm a bit obsessed with data. But I think data gives you a lot of clear information. How are the very successful companies been very successful? Because they use data and they understand the data that's given to them. And that's the key thing. If you're looking at buying, or sorry, a buyer looking at buying your product, where do you start? Do you just go to trade shows in Frankfurt, in Germany, in Dubai, in Saudi, all this, they all cost money. But what you actually physically get out of that, yes, you want to expand, but there's some fundamental things that we should think about. And we call it the three targets: research first, target precisely, and travel smart. They're the three key things we talk about when we're talking about these short courses. One of the key things, again, travel doesn't always equal demand. So we do a lot of traveling, and I've done it myself. I've traveled and, I've learned the hard way where you go out there, you spend a lot of time out there. And people think it's a glorious way of thinking. And it's great, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you travel, it's very rare, but sometimes you travel on business class, and I'm sure some of your companies will invest in that. But actually, when you come back, have you actually gained anything? You've spent a lot of time out there. People are expecting CEOs or directors or the company are expecting to see results. The export department are expecting to see results. So again, be a bit more smarter. Travel trap, as I say, often confuse activity with achievement. How many times do you go to, even in the UK, we're obsessed in the UK with meetings, meeting up, doing talks, meeting up, business meetings and all that. But actually analyze, what do you physically get out of that? Do you actually go away and get business? Yeah, they're great to socialize, and I think we're obsessed with socializing. I don't know if that's to do with COVID or anything, but I see it all the time. And I think, what benefit do I get going to an event where I'm going to socialize and meet people? What physical am I going to get out of that? And you've got to be ruthless in this world. If you want to be successful, you've got to be ruthless and start cutting out a lot of these things and find out why that travels. So it's not so bad if you're traveling in the UK, but imagine if you're traveling abroad. You feel you have meetings, it's productive. People promise, how many times do you meet somebody and they promise things and nothing ever happens? Because you started at the first point, and normally the person you're seeing is not the decision maker. Fundamentally, lots of people make these mistakes. Or in my case, I meet a lot of policy people, etc., when I'm trying to promote the business. It's just draining. It's a waste of energy. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. It just wastes my energy because I don't get anything from it. And I'll spend months and months then trying to chase it up. Have I done my research properly? Probably not. And maybe I should have done it first before I wasted all my energy. Anyway, enthusiasm from potential partners during initial meetings really translates directly to purchase orders. Trust me. I've been there, done it. I've got the t-shirt. So again, I'm just giving you some advice. Data-driven validation. Before investing in travel, examine trade stats. Look at your stats. Look at your commodities codes. Look at how it works. We invested heavily, or I've invested heavily in building some platforms because it really frustrates me. I just want people to export, and that's why I created the YouTube channel. And obviously import, because you'll be importing products as wholesalers or raw materials, etc., as you're making your stuff. But I started to look at data. How can you create that data? And I started to build the global. We call it the global finder. So it's the global opportunity finder. And basically what that is, it's you can put your commodity code in, and it starts to search what it thinks are the key markets for you. Give you three key markets. We know that works because the data tells us. Then invest the money in that. It's as simple as that. They're the three key markets. That is your biggest growth area. Then spend the time in them three markets. Don't waste your energy in 42 other countries that are barely touching anything that you want to export into that market. So again, there's the data's there. You've got to find it. We will create that going forward. But again, there's lots of data out there. There are three crucial, as I say, our critical research failures undermine export travel effectiveness. We haven't done our data foundation, we haven't validated, and there's no demand for mapping. So we haven't built in there the strategy. So you're going to go and meet a buyer, and he's going to say, "Yeah, I want that product next week, and you need to do this labeling, you need your regularities here. Are your pallets, is it 5 pallets, 10 pallets? Is it DAP? Is it DDP? Is it X Works? Is it FCA? Is it CFR? You've not even come to any of these because you've not done any research on it. So you're not prepared to go and do that final, okay, I've got this in place, I've got that in place, I've got the data, I know you want the products. Now here is my contract. And here is the price. I've worked out all my costing. Before I've come out, I know exactly what I can sell at. Yeah, but I want to pay 10% cheaper. Well, actually, I've already done my calculations and I know I've built in a 10 to 15% mark in there just in case so I can negotiate. Okay, deal done. I'll knock you 10% off. You sign the contract today. It's as easy as that. But most people don't even get to that stage, and that's why it becomes a big problem. Again, the true cost, it cost a fortune. When I went to Saudi, I think it was about £10,000 in cost. It was a ridiculous amount of money, hotels, travel, food, the time it takes, the time that it drains you. You're still working obviously at different hours. And, so when people go to the US, I'm sure they love it. But, what you get as a business, if you're an owner of a business, what are you getting from that? What return of investment are you getting from that? You want to question it because you want results when you come back. False optimism, polite conversations. Yeah, we can do this and do that. Do you ever get anything from it? No, because you haven't even started that journey. Inventory risk, anticipate orders based on meetings, enthusiasm, stock commitment. So you get excited, you come back, I've been there, done it. Yeah, yeah, we can do this. Let's do this. Let's get a new warehouse, Nick. My old business partner. Why do we need a warehouse? Well, they've said it's going to be massive and anything. And then, 2 years down the line, he's still asking you a question. What happened with that account that promised you all them things? Well, actually, again, it's that risk and understanding that risk associated with it. The research first method, I always say, it's a SPICE, so it's the trade analyst. Examine your trends, look at your target buyer segments, again, look through the data and competitive mapping. You get them three key things right, it starts you on that journey. You can do that now online. Why are you wasting your energy to go and visit somebody? Yeah, you visit them once, you've done the deal. You can do deals now online. I said, yes, there's that great thing of going visiting somebody, but why not visit when you've done the deal? When you know that they're going to spend £100,000 or £200,000 a year with you, it then justifies spending £10,000 on travel. It's a thing to think about. There are lots of technology now. We live in a world of instant connection. WhatsApp, you can speak to somebody on WhatsApp on video. What's the difference? I'll be very blunt here. I used to love going out when I worked in Spain for over a year. I enjoy going out there. Did the company actually benefit anything from that? We benefited because we had a very clear contract with our agent out there who spent probably 2 million a year with us. So yes, it was worth it. But did I actually get any value out of that? No, it was just nice to go out there. But did that then hinder my development in the UK? Yes, 100%. So, it's a balance in it. So again, it's understanding that. And again, knowledge check, what are the strongest early indicators of market demand? Is it website visits, trade stats, social media links, or chamber, your local chamber who do a wonderful job in supporting business, especially with documentations and everything else around them. For social, if you like socials, join a chamber. They do wonderful social events for lots and lots of businesses. But again, it's just, what do you think that is? And again, just put it in chat and let me know and see what you think. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm not here to say you're doing it wrong, but there's one that really sticks out here that could really, really help you to understand the market. So again, thanks for watching today. We'll go on to episode 3 next. But again, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Again, hopefully I'm giving you some good advice. And again, ping, subscribe. That's all we want because we want to build this channel to be a real it to be your go-to channel where you want support and everything else around that. So again, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again on the next. And again, keep liking if you don't mind. It's important because a lot of effort goes into this. So again, thank you.